Morning. Let's just share this out. How we doing, people? Enjoying your slavery? Can't knock a bit of slavery nowadays. Beautiful thing, beautiful. We were talking about Lizzie this morning. Queen Elizabeth II is now coming after your kids. Why? Because you can't be trusted with them. The Queen has issued a statement saying that during the Second World War, people were evacuated and this, that. And now she's like, this time round, we can't actually see what's coming, but we're coming for your children anyway. Because you can't look after your own kids. I am a media. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. Now, I don't know whether you're a lady or a geezer, but you're giving me the old palms up. I'm loving some of that. So Lizzie's coming after your kids. So keep them safe, keep them healthy, keep them wealthy. All right. Don't let your kids get ill. To stop your kids getting ill, you stop feeding them Coca-Cola, burgers, and chips. You give them good food, right? Give them greens. It's really good for you. Really good. Why do you think Popeye had big guns? Yeah. Yeah. All right, Debs. Nice to see you, darling. Davey Wilson. All right, Gould. Nice to see you, love. Matty Taylor. My old mate Daddy Dragon had 850 people viewing him last night. Man, he's been on YouTube now for about a year and a half, 2 years. He comes on most days. He keeps. Now I don't know what ain't level, my head or my nose. Something ain't quite. That's it. I'm always fighting this hat and these glasses. It's terrible. Hello, Aaron. Nice to see you, love. We're talking about Lizzie. The Queen's coming after your kids now. Why? Because the state knows best. The state don't know best. Let me just share this out, and we need to let people know. So keep your heads, keep your kids safe, people. Keep your God gave you your children, not the Queen, not the state party. It's disgusting what goes on. I'm hoping like you can all see it. Can you all see it? Give me some 5x5s if you can see what's going on. This is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. When did the state know what was best for your children? When did the state know what was best for you? When did the state know what was in the best interest for you to do for your house and your property and your cars? We're a nation of children, and we got to wake up. We got to wake up. We're not a nation of children. We are not a nation of children. We are a nation of God-given individuals, right? Nice one, Kenny Mac. I see Rob S is doing some good stuff. Give him my love when you see him, wouldn't you? I was stolen from my mum at birth. See, I am a birth. So what sort of a life have you had? If you can put, right, this is an interesting situation, right, that we find ourselves in just right here this minute. Now, I'm hoping I am a media is brave enough to tell the story. I was stolen from my mum at birth. Now, that's sad. And that makes me want to cry. I'm not going to, but it does. It places something really heavy on my heart. Look, we've had for years, right, this disinfecting of a race and a culture. We've had the child snatchers, which I call social services. They are definitely 100% children snatchers. They're making money out of children, people. So I'm hoping that you can share your story with us in the comments, or maybe come on a live feed with us at some point through Zoom or something. We can get some sort of a live feed going, and to see how you was treated after being. Look, I've got to be honest with you. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of friends, and I've got some really dear friends that did grow up in the care system, all of which, the majority of which, I would say a good 70% of people that grew up in care were abused, sexually abused, mentally abused. Now, do you think your natural mother and father generally are going to do that to you? No, they're not. We're back in King Herod's times, people. Herod said, go and take the kids and do. I think the Queen thinks she's Queen Herod. I'm going to start calling her Herod from now. I'll inbox you in a bit with my friend on Facebook. Fantastic. So I'm going to have 2 individuals come and testify and send me their testimonies of what has actually happened to them once they've been taken away from their birth mother and father. Now, I've said many a times before, Lord knows what I would have done as a young kid, 7 or 8 year old, being taken away from my mum and dad, because I've always had a very strong connection with them. Their love. If they'd have put me with foster parents, you know what I probably would have done? And I've got to be honest, I'm just sharing you what comes from my heart, people. I probably would have found a knife in one of the drawers and killed them. I would have. I've got a funny feeling that I would have, because I don't think I would have been able to get over the grief and the anguish that my heart was feeling, that they'd taken me away from what God had given me to. God gave me to my mum and dad. He didn't give me to the state. It's disgusting. We need to do something here, people. Lizzie's coming for the kids. I've got a young grandchild. Over my dead body, Lizzie. Over my dead body. You ain't taking my fam. You are not taking my family. Not a chance. I will protect them. Trust me, I will protect them. To the death. I will. You're disgusting. Nicking children. What sort of a world are we living in when we're nicking children? When a state party nicks children? Please tell me. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. You know, I don't understand it. That we got to get these people out of our life. These people in the public. Right, now I want to take you back to a time period, right? Many, many years ago. Corporations are the devil's work. Corporation. And that's why you're called a corpse when you're dead. Because you're a corporation whilst you're alive. Because you're a corpse and you have oration. You can speak. All right? So you're a corporation whilst you're alive in their system. That's how they deem you until you prove that you're alive. When you're dead, you're a corpse because you can't speak no more. That's why you're a corpse, not a corporation. Now, back in the day, many, many years ago, taxation, all this other stuff, what could the state operate on? Well, the state could only operate on commercial things. With mining, with making the roads, with running infrastructure. That's all that the state and corporations could action on. That's it. Men and women were completely private. And I'm only talking about 100 years ago, people. I'm not talking about something that's like 1,000 years ago before we invented the round wheel and we were running around on square wheel bikes, not getting too far. That's not what I'm talking about. This is a very small time period. This is less than 100 years ago. Prior to the 1930s, after the Deep Depression, women were never addressed as persons. They were called women. So the only thing that the tax man could operate on was corporations, businesses, yes? Could never, anything that was operating in a commercial capacity. Time to start growing your own food. John, I'm growing loads of food. Trust me, I'm growing. Mate, do you want a list of what I'm growing? My word. I've got a bit excited this morning, people. I've got a bit excited. I had some old spud, you know, like when you get your spuds and they start getting their little eyes out, they start chitting. I've thrown them in the ground, and this morning, because I buried them quite down, because I've got a cat, and I've put things over the top of them to stop the cat getting out. I'm going to shoot the cat one day. No, I'm not. I'm not going to shoot the cat for you all, Star. I'm not going to shoot the cat. I actually love the cat. Not when it's in my veggie plot. But I've got a polytunnel as well out in the fields. But my little spuds are just starting to get the little growth, because it's May. We're in May now, you see. And once you get the sun and the humidity, everything starts to grow. So this year is all about, I've got spare freezers, nut squashes, petty pans, carrots, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, you name it, we're growing it. Tomatoes, cucumbers, that's what all the polytunnel's for. Strawberries, I've got 40 strawberry plants. I've got a kiwi tree, which is going to take a few years to grow. But once the kiwis, I'm going to be harvesting my own kiwis, which are a beautiful fruit. Avocado, I've got a couple of avocado trees. I'm trying my hardest to become self-sufficient, because I can see what the world's coming. Why can I see what's happening in the world? Because of this book's told me. People say, Dave, where'd you get your little wisdom from? Well, I haven't got no wisdom. I know nothing. I know nothing. I just follow this. It's an instruction, beginner's basic instruction before leaving Earth. That's what it's all. I've just started growing. Yes, Aaron, you've got to. Mervyn, hello, love. Morning, Dave. Nice to see you, brother. Lovely to see you. True patriots. I'm a patriot. I love my country. I don't like who's running it. Like I said the other day, the system's flawless. It's fantastic the way it all works. But it's got ugly. It's become Diane Abbott ugly. And she's not only is she ugly, God bless her, she can't count either. You have people in these positions that can't count. Well, we're going to borrow £300,000 for 20,000 extra police. Well, how much going to pay? Well, they're going to get 30 grand a year. Oh, Diane, I'm not sure you've done your maths there, sweetheart. How have you come to them well, he didn't say you not. He said, how'd you come to them calculations? Well, so we sat down and done a big study on it, think tanks and all this. I've had my professional advisors coming and telling me. And the interviewee's looking at it going, oh, right, really? You really are as thick as shit. Yeah, you must be. So these are the people that you have running the show. What hope have you got? Unless you start to stand up. And what we need to do, people, is this earth works on two parallels. You've got the corporate world and the government world, and you've got the real world, God's creation, right? And I've always felt close to creation. I really have. Ever since I was a kid, I've always felt close to nature and that close kindred spirit to all things. I really have. And just because we can't see things out there, don't mean to say they're not there. They are there. I feel it. I feel the energies of it all, the planet, the Gaia. I mean, I go out, take my shoes and socks off, walk around the land, and I just ground out, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. Great stuff, Dave. Freedom of Speech Network. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, it's nice to see you, sweetheart. It really is. Tracy Pearson. See, I've had my allotment for 12 years. Nothing better than fresh fruit and veg. Absolutely. And then when you have a glut, you give it to your neighbours. That's what I do, because what goes around comes around. If you all say, well, I'll grow food and I've got someone down the road doing chickens, I'll have 6 eggs, I'll give you a bag full of veg. Bob's your uncle. You're surviving. Because they're trying to throttle us out, people. All this distancing with the masks on, my life, really. When you breathe in and out, you're breathing in and then you're breathing out, you're expelling badness, right? The stuff that comes out your mouth when you exhale, you don't really want back in your body. But when you wear these big sucking on the nipple masks, you're breathing back in the stuff that your body's trying to exhale. And if you've had that on all day, you are doing more damage to yourself than good. I see a geezer come past here a couple of weeks ago in his car, all in his own, with a mask so tight, he looked like he was just coming down the birth canal. He did. He looked like Victoria Beckham. He did, yeah. God bless you, Victoria. Georgie Jensen, hello, love. Are you and Kate still an item? I'm not feeling. I don't know. I hope so. I hope it ain't fizzled out and you've got that romance still going, love. I don't know. Perhaps you'll have to send me that in a private comment. Ooh, don't want to start anything. I'm banned, says John Taylor on Facebook. I've left Facebook. Facebook for me is just a few little things. I'm off of Facebook. Let me tell you, Facebook for me is Facebook schmacebook. It is unbelievable. Not only. See, this is the other thing. You go to town, you start swearing at a copper. I'm going to arrest you for what? Exercising my freedom of speech and the use of my vocabulary. All words defined in a dictionary. Just because you're too much of a snowflake, constable, to accept the fact that swear words are pretty all right. The F word and the C word is a little bit dodgy for me, but nonetheless, they're defined in the Oxford Dictionary. If it's defined, it's usable, right? And who gives them the right to tell you what can come out? If they get I'm so offended. Oh, you're a hate speaker. No, I got called being a hate speaker because I shared a TR video. A guy called TR that runs around this country spreading this and that, all about the grooming gangs and what's going on. TR, let you make your own mind up. And I got called a hate preacher. Hate me? I love everything. There ain't nothing in this world I don't love. How can I be a hate preacher? Oh no, you're a hate preacher. You're sharing TR stuff. Banned me the other day, or we found that you've made a comment on someone's post speaking about TR, and I'm like, oh, you are pathetic. You are pathetic. They've deplatformed David Icke. David Icke will find a way, I'm sure. To me, when you're over the target, right? Whenever the bombers used to go over Dresden and Munich and Berlin and they bomb doors open, they pretty much have a decent flight all the way through their night flights, and then as soon as they get over the target, on come the lights, and then that goes the flak. Because when you're over the target, you're going to have to expect flak. And that's exactly all that's happening with everyone out there. All these people that are speaking out now. The only one that really has a freedom of speech and is not on a leash is President Trump, who's a mega tweeter. He's like, listen, people, you're losing your country. You best get out and get involved in some civil disobedience. This is a coming directive from the President of America. I'm moving all my stuff over to VK. Yeah, I am. But I'd be all right if I knew how to use it, and it won't let me at the minute. I'm trying hard, but I get frustrated with it. I left Case Fascist book 2 years ago, Eddie. Yeah, Ed, you ain't missing nothing, bruv. Let me tell you. Is TR? Yeah, we've got to be careful what we say. Is TR released yet? I'm not sure. Perhaps we start calling me DW. Hey, what do you reckon? It's called free speech. Yeah, look, I don't care whether Ike is right, Ike is wrong, Ike is this. I respect his right to free speech. I respect your right to free speech. I respect your right to call me all your names you want to call me. I have the right to walk away and turn my ears off. But the Queen's coming after your children, people. Let me see if I can find this clip. You're going to find it quite disturbing. The World Health Organization have come up and said, look, this is all being spread around between the families. And I am yet to find anybody that I know on my friends lists on all these social media platforms that's got it or that have died from it. I've no one that's died from it. I've got a couple of people, maybe two, that have said, oh, I've got, but have they had it? Have they got common flu? Have they got some other bug? I don't know. Friend of mine the other month, they come back from family. The whole family's come back. They developed this cough and this, that, the other, and he's all panicking. He had the test done. Wasn't it? So someone sent me this video this morning. This one, hang on, let's have a look so I can find it on the messenger. It's quite alarming. This individual geezer is saying, look, this is all being intershared between families. We need to come into the homes. You got no idea, people, when the state can just come across your threshold into your home. You're living in an occupied country. You're living in some Nazi socialistic country when they can just come in whenever with their, and if you say no, they come in with the boys, with the weapons, with the machine guns, right? With the handguns, with the mace spray, with the taser sticks. Shame on them. Shame on them. Traitors of the realm. I'm very patriotic about my country and about the people, and I think everyone's born free. The Bible says every man is born free and equal and endowed with unalienable rights given to him by the Creator, whatever that is for you. I don't know. Could be a frog on a box. I'm not too sure. But nonetheless, you was endowed with unalienable rights. And that is a right to property, a right to life, a right to freedom, a right to assembly, a right to do this and do that. And you've all lost them. And you've all rolled over and you've all allowed it to happen. Why can't I find it? But the Queen, I've watched it this morning. Let's have a look. Mervyn Bell's just sent me a message on Messenger. Let's have a look what Merv's saying. I'll have a look. Revealed US government gave 3.7 million to grant Wuhan lab at Centre of Coronavirus leaks. Look, yeah, we can get into all of that. But the problem for me is I just, at this particular time in space, I think we need to keep our feet on the ground and focus on very true path. And as much as all that stuff is fascinating, it can pull you off. It can pull you off. And I will have a watch of it in a little while, by the way, because knowledge is power. Thou shalt not worship false idols. Absolutely right, John. Absolutely right. Thou shalt not worship false idols. I read this all the time. Now, if you want to know how to read this, most people go, oh, I couldn't get into it. So I said, what did you do? They said, we opened it up in Genesis. We got all the way through to say numbers or whatever, and we got bored. I said, that's not how you read this book. How you read this book is you open it up on whatever each day and you scan through it and you read it, and then all of a sudden things will jump out to you, because that's what Jesus said. He said, they said, why is all this written in parables? He said, for those that have eyes, let them see, and for those that have ears, let them hear. This is for God's people, right? That's how you read this book. You don't just read it from front to back. You open it up, you go here a little, there a little, bomb, 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 bomb. Give us our daily bread. Well, our daily bread is opening it up once a day and having a quick little read. And then what happens is it molds into you. And then your words, how you speak, you'll speak freely. You'll speak with the Spirit, yeah? Because we're all individual shards of spirit. And I don't know what's coming for this planet and this country, but let me tell you, Queenie's got her heart's desire set on the children. Perhaps she wants to go feasting a little bit more. Where is the proper, big word, proper, where is the proper place for a child with his mother and father? That's the proper place for a child, people. Let me tell you. But then they're saying we're going to come and take your kids. You really got troubled times coming, people, but I'm hoping that you all start really, really getting on this. What part of the Bible is that on, please, Dave? What are you asking, Davey Wilson, my gorgeous? Let's have a look. We are all sovereign and have rights. However, these come with responsibilities. Absolutely. Oh, yes. When you try and walk a path of righteousness and truth, it does come with responsibilities. You have to be as a man or a woman is supposed to be. And what teaches you, look, you can, right, listen, I've had people come to me in the past, they've got issues with this, that. I say, so what you asking me for? They say, well, you seem quite grounded. You seem quite, nothing really phases you. I do get phased from time to time. And I said to people, listen, you can have issues with whatever. You can go and see a counsellor for this, a shrink for that, get a pill from a doctor for this. You will go round in a circle and you won't never get anywhere. You won't never get to a straight line end of a road. And not that we ever do, because that's life. But you go and see these people, and if you don't think these shrinks and counsellors have all got their own problems and probably are all on the bottle, all on the whiz and all on the gear, because life gets them down with the stuff they have to. You can't tell me, right, that if a shrink has 50 people a day or 30 people a day coming to tell them all their problems, that they're not taking that home with them. Of course they are. Most shrinks, most doctors, alcoholics, most doctors are alcoholics, and their home life is disgraceful. They become insular, they separate themselves from everyone else, they become so anally retracted, it's unbelievable. And I always say to them when they come to me, they go, so why are you so grounded? Where do you get your levelness from? Well, I always say to people, so you want to sort yourself out, right? They say, yeah. I say, you want to know the truth. You want to know who you are. You want to be able to come into acceptance of yourself, this, that, the other. They go, yeah. I say, pick the good book up. That's why you've all been demonized from it, because that's why most of the world is on psychotic drugs from the doctor. That's why most of the world are all peeing that into the water structure, and it's all coming back into your houses. That's why men grow man boobs like they're going out of fashion, and most men's boobs nowadays are bigger than women's boobs because of the estrogen levels that they have in their body. So I say to them, pick the book up, just go and charity shop, whatever. You don't have to force it on yourself. You don't have to get all retarded over it and start saying this is nothing. Just accept it, open it up and read it. It's a book of equity. It's a book of law. It is the original font of all law. It's what the system's hinge pinned on. And it will talk to you and you'll go, oh, wow, this is a book written for me, right? Unbelievable. Aaron Milner, maybe you could start doing some Bible readings every day for us. Yeah, I will do. If that's what you want, if I do certain things, I shall pick out verses and chapters and then we can commune on it and we can chat about it. And all I will say, people, is if you go to Exodus chapter 20 and you get out the commands and then you let anyone in the system know that they're coveting your house, they're bearing false witness against you, etc., you'll find in next to no time that they just kind of disappear. Because what they can't do is they can't take God's promise from you. And this is a promise. This is the covenant. This is a promise, and they can't take it from you. Maybe you can start yeah, I will do that. Noisy tone. Hello, gorgeous. So it says that thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, nor the likeness or any form that is in heaven above or in the earth below, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. So when you let all these corporations know that you've come back into God's covenant and God's promise, and that you can't serve them and you should not bow down to them, all of a sudden your life becomes fantastic again. So what this does, that book teaches you a true righteous path, and the system can't intercourse with a righteous man. I've said many times before, in 2013, the number 13, lucky for some, unlucky for others, I had the system really, really firing its cannons at me. You're going to prison, and I'm not gloating or boasting it, but I'm just letting you know exactly what's going on. I had these things called HMRTC, Her Majesty's Courts and Relevant Tribunals. Well, hang on, Her Majesty can't force her will on me. I'm a sovereign man. I'd place my trust and power into Her Majesty to do right by sovereigns, not to corporatise over us all. So I'd had a few of these letters, and I've still got them. I'll keep them. It's all obviously addressed to the fiction, not to the man. And one day they said, if we see you on the road and your plate comes up, we're going to arrest you and take you straight to prison. And I rang this court up. I said, are you trying to take God's covenant and God's promise away from me? I said, and what you need to do is just F off and leave me alone. And they did. They went. It's 2020 now. I think they might get a 7-year itch. What do you reckon? Who knows? Never tempt the devil. But the devil can't play with me. I don't play with the devil. The devil roams around all the day long. What the devil's looking to do is he preys on you. He preys on your mind. He's that little one that whispers in the back there going, oh, do this, do that, do this. Oh, no, you're not worthy. No, you're not good looking. You need your haircut. That's the devil. That's the devilish system. He's prowling and he's wanting. When you turn around and say, oh, go away, leave me alone. You're not welcome. You're not allowed in. I'm with Team Jesus. He's gone. Just simply gone. Matt Taylor, hello, love. Nice to see you. A ghost still applies today. The nation's darkest hour is now. And haven't forgotten the King Arthur prophecy. Check out Alan Wilson and Barham. Alan Wilson. Who's Alan Wilson? Who's Alan Wilson? And Barham Blackett. It will blow your mind. Are these on YouTube, Matt? The government, Georgie Jensen, the government was to talk for the people, not to tell them what to do. There you go. And like I say, 100 years ago, the only thing a government could do, and governments were very small, is they could only boss corporations about people, companies that were set up to maintain the roads, to build the buildings, to check out and touch all the infrastructure. That's the only thing that they was allowed to intercourse with until the Great Depression and until the bailouts from the Rothschilds, and something had to be given back to these wicked, evil Rothschilds dynasties. And what was that? It was you. It was you. You become the collateral. You become the collateral. And don't take my word for this. I want you to go and research for yourself. But Liz is coming after your children, people. We want your children. Throw out your children. I've got candy. I've got sweeties. Sick, man. Sick. I've never had much regard for the royal family. I've had a lot of regard for the Constitution and the people. And I think that the Constitution needs to be put back on the pen, and it's still there today. Trust me. You start getting out all them constitutional documents, Bill of Rights, Petition of Rights, Magna Carta, Charter of Liberties, all this and that, and you place it before anyone that's coming at you in the state and saying, "Hang on a minute, you're harming a man and a woman in their soul." And this is the Constitution, and the Constitution limits and restricts you, not me, what you're playing at. You'll see them disappear. we should bring them down a few notches and tell them we have the power not to. It is time, people. It is time that you come together as an army. And if you don't, you will be lost, and this country will be lost. We need to do something. We really do. The Flat Earth, brand new third temple on its way. Comes with free digital tracking, 5G, cashless society, triangle hand signs, police drones and atheism. 2020, don't you just love it? Yes. Yes. People always come to me on, is the earth flat? And I say, look, listen, I'm someone that give up my soul. And I said, you know what? I'll follow the way of God's law. Now, God's law clearly says, and there is no one that will question it, that the earth has four corners, right? So the earth has four corners, and this is the easiest way to shut up someone that's either a flat earther or a globist. It doesn't matter. It says that the earth has a firmament above, and it splits the waters from above and below, and that there's four corners of the earth. So to me, is there anybody here that will question this, that's brave enough to question this? Anyone here? Anybody here? Now, this is simple. Is there anybody here that wants to question this book, that can turn around and say it's a load of nonsense? Because if you do, may the wrath be upon you. So it says here, and God created the sea. Oh, hang on. Let the waters. Hang on. And to rule over the. So, hang on. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. These are the stars. And God made the great two lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God then set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. I'm glad about that. And there was evening, and there was morning, and fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundancy, and moving creatures that have life, and let the fowl fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly. So, this is God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the water. You go into a court with this, they bow. If you know this book, the judge will bow to you, the clerks will bow to you. No harm will come to you. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? So, that's the flat earth debate pretty much done. Because there isn't anyone that's going to question that book, because it's a fact. That's a fact in a court. That's a fact. You can't argue that. Mr. Prosecutor, do you want to argue God's promise? No. Just go and have a nice day. Go and have a nice day. Go and have a nice day. They won't do it. So there's some mysticism to that, right? Now, who wrote it? I don't know. Was it Constantine in the city of Nicaea? Very probably, because the Roman Empire was taking a right lashing at the time to Christianity, and proper true Christianity, right, is taking a kick in the bits. All the churches are shut in. You can't go out and preach. Now, the Bible gives you instruction to go out and preach the word. It says, bring 12 brothers to the word of God, and you have fulfilled the prophecy. That's what it says in that book. And it says that you've done your duty. I know if I brought more than 12 people to it, through this medium that we're talking to now. But if you go out on the street and start talking from that book, you'll get arrested. Why? Because the police are the devil's workers. They work for Lucifer. They're Luciferian people. And let them go and swim in the sea and lake of fire, people. That's all I'm saying. I'm not for sale. My soul is not for sale. I've always known my soul's not for sale. My soul belongs to Almighty God, and I'm going to go and walk in his kingdom with him. If you ever never read the last bit of Revelation, where it says that heaven comes to earth, and it's 1,000 breadth cubits long and width and that, and everything in it is gold. There's no disease, no illness. Everyone sees God. They walk them out. I'm telling you, mate, who wouldn't want that? So this is all about now protecting your soul. This is about what side of the sword are you going to live. I would rather die, right? I would rather leave this mortal coil and stand in truth and conviction and take all the beatings. I'll take all the beatings, because Jesus said, if I slap you on the right cheek, offer the other also. Have that one and all, fucker. Have it. You're not going to beat my soul. You can have the flesh. The flesh is yours. That's what the Queen owns. She owns the flesh. I can't understand why no one's dying of this thing. All the hospitals are shutting down. The Nightingale hospitals are shutting down. The COVID-19 pulling centres, they're break dancing in there during their intervals. It's a scamdemic, people. It's an absolute scamdemic. And sure, people are dying. People die every day, people. Hundreds of thousands of people die every day around the world. It's nature. It's the way it works. It's the circle of life, the cycle of life. It's how it works. Yeah, but people are dying, Dave. They are. What can you do about it? When I go, I'm going to say, my soul's going to say, hallelujah. I'm 53 in September, ladies and jelly spoons, and I will. Once I finally take my last breath, my soul is going to sing. I'm going to go free at last. Freedom. Listen, freedom's more than a 7-letter word, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, I popped on this morning to bring you a little bit of a word, maybe. And to let you know what's going on with the Queen and the World Health Organization. They're now saying that we're coming after the kids. If I could have found it, I would have played it to you. And the Queen has sat from Buckingham Palace, and she's turned around and said that we're in testing times and we need to do this for the common good of the people. And yeah, she's coming for your kids now. King Herod, maybe. Who knows? My gorgeous friend Linda Stacker. Linda Lasardi. She had some constables come to her home in England last year. She was being assaulted outside the house by the plantation owners, which are the police. They're just handlers. They're Rottweilers. That's all. In actual fact, I personally think they're scumbags. And her son see what was happening to his mother. Now, you tell me that if you see... Now, I know if I saw someone assaulting my mother and bashing her up, I'm going to jump out and slit their throat. Are you kidding me? She brought me into the world. I'm just getting emotional thinking about that. I would protect my mother. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Anyway, she saw her 17-year-old son, saw her mum being molested and assaulted by these devil worshippers. So he's gone running out to try and protect her, where a couple of constables grabbed him, smashed his head so hard into the windscreen of this car that it actually cracked the windscreen. They cracked the windscreen, and then they done her for it. They sent her a little thing in the post. You've got a cracked windscreen. Your car's not allowed to be on the road. There's a fine for you. Not only have they half killed her son, and could have killed her son, do you know how tough a windscreen is? It's tough, man. It's a tough thing. And he had fits and convulsions after that. They could have killed him. Would they have been brought to justice? Not a chance. Why? Because they're hiding behind the corporate banner. We need to start prosecuting these people and find a way to prosecute these people in their private capacity and sue them, take their houses off them. I know, sounds wicked, but that could just be the only way. And it ain't about teaching them a lesson. It's about bringing them back into line, people. They smashed his head so hard into the windscreen, they cracked the windscreen and then issued her a ticket and a fine and a warrant for her arrest because of what had happened to that car. No, sorry, we've half killed your son. We're really sorry that we smashed his brains into that windscreen so hard and assaulted him. Battery, abuse of power, malfeasance and misfeasance in public office. They're scumbags, guys. And I don't say this lightly. I really don't. I mean, I would never holler at the fire brigade this way. I'd never turn around and say anybody in the fire brigade was like that at all. Never had that in their bodies. They wouldn't. They're not like that. But our police have become fascist dictators. And woe betide anyone that accepts that. Woe betide anybody that accepts that narrative, I tell you. Because that is disgraceful, sickening, and heartbreaking. Absolutely detestable. Detestable. What scumbags. And they go home of a night, people, and they put their head on the pillow and they sleep tight. They have their dinner. They watch the telly. They think that's normal. They think it's normal behaviour to be like that, to be a tyrant, a petty tyrant. They think it's normal. They do it on a daily basis. They become so devoid of spirit and soul. And these people are not righteous. These people are not righteous. They're Herod's army. They are evil, wicked, satanic worshippers. They're going to get some stick from me, mate, that day in London. They bashed my mate Georgie Jensen up. He went up to stroke one of the police horses. I got 3 horses. Horses are beautiful creatures. Beautiful, beautiful animals. I'm looking at one of them now. The other 2 are in the stables. The one I'm looking at now is a Navajo. Remember the old Navajo horses you see in the old westerns with the American native Indians? He's one of them. He's gorgeous. He's beautiful and he's soft. He's needy. He'll nibble you for a bit of grub. He's just so needy. He loves attention and affection. He's only a youngster. And horses do draw you. The kids love horses when we see them in London. Horses are just amazing. They're proper souls, horses. They're gorgeous. So my mate Georgie's gone up and said to this cop, look, hello, mate, you all right? Yeah, sweet as a nut. Do you mind if I stroke your horse quickly? Yeah, just give it a little pet down. It is my property after all. You do work for the people, right? We're all supposed to be one here. You're wearing this fucking magical uniform that gives you special powers. Yeah, come and have a stroke. Come and stroke. He's just stroking the horse. Oh, lovely horse. The horse is loving it. Watch out. And this other cop has seen it. What's he doing? Assault? Bosh! Smashed my mate round the head with a truncheon and done other things. Got no souls. Go straight to hell. That's where you're going, mother sucker. You do that to your brothers and sisters. It says in the Bible, what you do to your brothers and sisters, God will mete out on you tenfold. The pain and the suffering, whatever it is that you're doing in your everyday capacity as a copper, killing people, smashing people into heads, you got to feel that. You got to live tenfold what you've done. And that's not just me, that's the promise. The promise tells me that whatever it is that you do to others, you have it come back on you tenfold. That's not odds I like. Don't like them odds. That's why I can't do that stuff and descend into that. If you spare and shed your brother's blood, I will require yours. That's the covenant. That's the promise. And the courts now, they turn a blind eye. They say to the police, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Well, we did it. The courts are allowing these coppers. They're not holding them to justice. That's what happened with the Third Reich. The Third Reich were running a lot. The courts couldn't get control over them. And in the end, the courts bowed down and curtailed to the Third Reich. And that's what we've got in this country now. The courts are star chambers, dirty people in them. Dirty people. They're not nice people. I can't deal with nasty people. Like I say, I want a different world. I want a world of nice things. Can you imagine how Just for a second, right? Sit back, grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea, because I'm going to go shortly. Can you imagine if this country was based on a fantastic ethos of no harm, no injury, no loss, educating the kids? Now, a friend of mine yesterday, Eddie Powell, who's a councillor, local councillor, UKIP, but now running as an independent, is a gorgeous man. And we've just had a young 26, 28-year-old man yesterday or the day before in Maidstone murdered. 2 people have descended on him, stabbed him to death. And Eddie's calling for more police and more police powers. Now, is that naivety? I mean, it's his will. I mean, it's his wish. If that's what he wants to see, that's his free will. It's not for me to judge Eddie, and I would never do that. But I said to Eddie, this starts at education. This starts at children. If you expect to send kids to state school indoctrination camps where it's fighting all day and all this other stuff is being normalised, can you imagine what is happening now when they're in their 20s and 30s? So if you want to change a country and change its mentality and change the way it is to bring it back to some fruitfulness, and put it in a soil that's got good nutrition, and the plant and the tree is going to grow well and give you a good crop. If you plant a tree as a youngster in dirty, stony ground and throw shit at it, it won't grow. It's going to be tiny and puny. So you have to start the small seedlings off in good, solid foundations and good nutritional ground. So if you get the kids, and I'm blessed to know that there's more people now that are homeschooling their children, not sending them to these state schools. Because the state school, the first thing it does is it knocks the rubbish out of the kids and tells them that they're not worthy, when they've gone there as a pure little spirit, as a 4 or 5-year-old, full of life and full of bubbliness. Now, I always kept my bubbliness. I never let them kick it out of me. I wouldn't allow it. But that's what the state schools do. It's all about indoctrination. You will do as you're told. Sit down in that chair. Do not move. Miss, I need the toilet. No, piss your pants. That's what they do now. Well, I need the toilet. No, piss your pants. That's what they do. You're not allowed. You will go to the toilet when I tell you. I used to get up and just walk out. And they said, no, you can't. I said, oh, shut up. I'm going to a loo. You don't get to tell me when I can't go to the bloody toilet, you Indians. What you like? Idiots. Indians. What? I had an Indian last night. My head just went, my brain. Oh, people, I made the perfect chapatis last night. I've never made them before. I watched a quick flizz up and I made them, man. They were like proper restaurant style. My missus went, oh, you're getting good at this curry now. I love a good curry. So this starts at youth. If that happened yesterday, these 2 lads that have killed this man in Maidstone, 29-year-old lads now dead, laying on a mortuary slab in Maidstone Hospital, probably, or on a funeral director somewhere. She's putting his rug on. Who's fouled him? Is it the police that have fouled him? No. It's the schools. It's the system that's fouled. Because they're bringing this evil doctrine in. And it's just wrong. The school should be full of love. When I was at school, most teachers had goodness in their heart. Now, I was that teacher a couple of years ago, he wouldn't let a certain kid in because he didn't have the right colour shoes on. Would you want me to turn up in Jesus creepers? Do you want me to turn up in flip-flops that Jesus wore? How dare you? It's all about conformity, you see. Your uniforms must match. They say, oh, it's to make other kids. No, it's conformity. So I say to all the people that have taken their kids out of state school and no longer let their children go and get brainwashed and indoctrinated, God bless you and may you continue. But it starts from children. This don't start. You can't. If you get a Rottweiler puppy, and that puppy, I've had a couple of Rotties and I've been blessed to have them and I love them dearly. Sadly, no longer with me. They've both passed away. But when I got them as pups, we moulded them with love. We moulded them with good food, with good water, with good exercise, with good training. And anybody that ever come into contact with my dogs went away knowing that Rottweilers were gorgeous dogs, not on a dangerous dogs list, not brainwashed because the police have said, oh, you got a Rottie, they're dangerous dogs, we're going to come and destroy it. Everyone that contacted my dogs had big hugs with them and so much laugh and love that they went away and said, you know what, I'm going to get a Rottweiler because they're really beautiful dogs, aren't they? But I brought them dogs up in love. Now, I could have quite easily descended and just kicked that dog in a corner, give it nothing, beat it all of its life, and it would have been a killer. It's no different from people. People are exactly the same. So we are not going to stop this with extra police, with extra guns, with extra bullets, with extra taser sticks, with extra mace spray, with extra cuffs and asps. We're not going to stop it that way. The only way we stop this is at the grassroots with the children, and we have to take this wicked, evil doctrine out of this country and kick it in the Thames and throw it away. That's how we change this world, and that's how we change this country. And that's a world I want to see. God, dogs are as good as their owners. Absolutely. Turn the word dog around, you get God, because they come into the world pure little spirits, and it's how you treat them, right? And that's what you get out of them. What you put in is what you get out. I don't pay the TV license, says Flat Earth. Flat Earth, says Aaron Milner. Yes, the British Brainwashing Corporation. Bog brushes. Massive statue outside the BBC of paedophiling. Disgusting, evil, wicked, rot in hell. Anyone that's involved in paedophilia, abuse of kids, murder, rape, pillaging, stealing people's children, stealing their homes, stealing their cars, may you rot in hell. May you go to the deepest, darkest, fiery pit, because you ain't getting in there in God's kingdom. That's all I'm saying. Peeps, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got stuff to go and do. I'll probably be back to you a bit late today. Thanks for tuning in as always. And keep the spirit, stay in faith. We will beat this system. To the Queen, you should be embarrassed. Promoting stealing children from families. It's disgusting. Lizard Lizzie. Take care, peeps. Love you all.